during the period you're in college is when so many things change in people's life, because this is like the time you are, let's say, free, because your parents are not around and you have to make most of the decisions by yourself. And like so many people change like for different reasons, because you're going to experience so many new things. Some people change for the better, some people change for the worse, and it all depends on the decisions you make. And so today I'd like to share with you my experience during my first year, that is academically, socially, the friendships, the relationships, and even the partying, the religion, and so many other things. So let's get into the video. Hello beautiful people, happy new year to you. If you're new here, my name is Lois, and on this channel we talk about nursing, health education, and I also do vlogs. So if that is something you're interested in, you should consider subscribing. So right now I'm in my fourth year. I joined in 2017, and I just remember from the first day I joined, I remember we were just doing the admission stuff and everybody's just busy, and like you don't even know how to start talking to the other person. You just seated there doing your stuff up and down. Like there were so many requirements, so many photocopies to do, I don't know, vaccinations, so many stuff around. And when you are done, like our parents went back home and you're there alone in the hostel, you don't even know how to start talking to the other person. And I remember like it just came up like, hey, what's your name? My name is Lois. And you know each other, and now you're trying to like, do you know where people take lunch, that kind of things. So for us, like we did not know like where people take their meals, so we spent like almost a whole week just taking snacks, going to the supermarket, buying chips and taking biscuits and yogurts, and just the days went by. And I remember like for us in our hostels, we didn't have these like sockets. So if you want to charge your phone, you had to go like downstairs in the classroom so that you can charge your phone. So when you can go classrooms, there is where you meet the senior students. So they used to come there like, hey, what's your name? You're beautiful, blah blah blah. And it was just so funny. Like during your first year, you just see like everyone is just crazy. And also during that time is when so many people used to come to our room and try to make us join different groups like sports and religion. Like I remember this lady who introduced us to church, she came and wrote our names down and told us that on this specific day you guys should come and join us during our prayer service. And I remember we went there, and because I'm a Catholic, it was a little bit difficult because the way like people pray differently anyway. And during the introductions, the other things like Yesu ni Bwana, it was just so funny for me, but I think I just got used to it. And that's when one of the guys told us like where they usually take their meals. So was it Bandaza Amade? So we went there and he told us like, imagine taking even rice and beans or ugali and skuma or chapati and maragwe can only cost you like 30 shillings or 20 shillings na utashiba na so you were just so happy. And when we went there, I remember I ordered for mchele dengu. So when mchele dengu came, mchele dengu iko na waru ndani, iko na maragwe ndani, iko na skuma ndani, iko na cabbage ndani, imekiwa supu ya nyama zenyewe ziko mbili, zingine zina float hapo juu. Oh my god, it was just so terrible. I think the first 2 weeks food was so terrible because you just don't understand why people are cooking like that. But I think as the days went by, we just discovered other different places. So you discover other people who make similar food but a little bit better, even if it's maybe a little bit more expensive. And I remember we discovered this lady, also Mother, and she used to be so harsh. I remember like anakuja na kuuliza, msichana unataka nini? Unataka kula nini? And she's shouting at you, and ukishamwambia kile unataka kukula, kuleta chakula, like anachukua plate na anakurushia huko, like the soup even pours on your uniform, and you're like, why are people so crazy? Why are people so I remember this one time I went to her hotel. I'll never forget this time. So I went to her hotel, and so I think the people we went there with told me like kuna kwanga na gidheria 30 na gidheria 40. So in my mind I used to think that 30 maybe ni kidogo sana ile wezi shiba. So I said, acha nitamwambia niletea 40. So I seated there, akaniambia, msichana unataka nini? and they're like, "Nita 40."
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Oh, I never knew Gidheria 40 is akamlima ile mlima ile yenye sasa mafundi wa mjengo na wanakulanga. So instead of telling me msichana yeah 40 ni mingi wezi maliza tena kuletea 30, she started shouting at me, "Wewe msichana mdogo unataka kula Gidheria 40 bob? Kwani kwa tumbo yatoshana aje?" And everyone was there laughing, like not even just students, the outsiders were there, everyone is laughing. Unataka kula Gidheria 40 bob yote kwani kwa tumbo yatoshana aje? Unakulanga style gani? And then instead of telling me you can eat like another one of a lower price, she insisted that you are going to eat that Gidheria and you are going to finish it. Akaniletea Gidheria 40 bob, akaniwekea hapo na akakaa chini akiniwash nimalize. Imagine this is a hotel and you're paying for it, and like it's not a must for you to finish. Oh my god, I never felt like terrible in life like that. Anyways, let's get out of that food story. So after that, like we went for these orientations. Like there's a 2-week orientation where you're told like how to carry yourself in school, like about academics, what you're going to study, what you're required. Like the pass mark is 50. When you don't get 50, you'll be able to do a supplementary exam. I don't know if you repeat this supplementary exam like 3 times, you'll go back 6 months and repeat, and so many other things. So during orientation, that's when like you even try and know your classmates, because there are some students you used to see them around hanging with like the senior students, and they're there like the fashionistas. And I think I used to think that they in their 3rd year or 4th year, the way they used to like carry themselves, and then you're seeing them in the same class of orientation and you're like, man, so you're also in your 1st year. And it was just so funny. And you introduce yourselves, like everyone is like, "Hey, my name is Lois Odur and I come from Siaya County. My name is Adono, I come from Kiambu County." I remember I was seated next to someone, and I remember like when people were introducing themselves, there some people who were like, "Hey, I don't know, my name is who and I'm from Nairobi County." And I remember the person who was sitting next to me was like, "I never knew like Nairobi ni kwa wenyewe, kuna watu wanaona Nairobi." Oh my god. So I remember we were told so many things, like in college there's so many diseases, HIV, STIs are all over, and if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to contract any of these diseases and maybe even get pregnant. And we were told so many things, like putting on a condom and so many other things. It was just so funny and fun at the same time. So after that, we started going for classes. And I remember when we started going for classes, like we really had a harsh class teacher. He used to come to class like, if you know you're not putting on socks and you don't have a leather shoes, toka mbele. And ukishafika mbele, like go and look for socks. So, you know, some of the students around used to stay like far away, not near town, and you just can't go back home to put on socks so that you can come to class. So people used to go to an extent of kuomba na socks ndo si miss class, ama hata kuomba viatu ndo si miss class. Like it used to be so nasty. So he used to do the same thing each and every day. When he comes to class, if you don't have socks and don't have leather shoes, get out of my class. I think he made like most of us just start putting on butter shoes, yeah? Sisi tunang'ang'anianga viatu za butter wote to high school. So that is the life we just started there. And I remember when he started going for classes, like when he started doing like the anatomies, and it was just so fun until we realized like anatomy is biology times 10, and it was just so hectic and everyone was just trying their best. And some of the classes were just so like terrible. Like imagine you are 100 students in like a single room and you're squeezed and you're at the back, you can't even hear anything. And at that time the lecturer is ana shrub yake yote, so akuko mbele ana dictate notes, ako like, and then the causative agent is Staphylococcus aureus, and you haven't even heard what he's saying. You utaandika kwa notes zako, ukienda kusoma hizo notes hata utaelewa. So during the first year it was terrible, especially if you have such kind of lecturers. And we just got used to class. And I remember now it came to a period where they were preparing for the freshers night. So I think this is the time where like So many people usually feel it challenging. I don't know why, because imagine like the freshers night is it is in the school compound, so nothing bad can happen to you. So I remember there's this like a senior student, a friend of mine, and she was like, you just don't have to go to those things, man, because when you go there, like, you're going to find people like who are taking drugs, who are taking alcohol, they're going to take advantage of you. And I was there like, hey, so how is that going to happen with the school compound? Like, the security is there, so how is that even going to possibly happen? And you know, I'm that kind of a person who, I don't like when you try and make decisions for me. Just let me experience it for myself, so that I can decide it for myself. So mi nikamwambia mi nitaenda ndio freshers night, and if that is the kind of person you are, hata ubeshte ziishi, I'm not interested. So I think I went there, and everything she said was totally different. Like, people were just there, the artists who came there, it's really for major manani, they were just performing and everything was okay. And I was like, then why is it that some people just try and make decisions for other people's life? Like, unapata watu wengine wanaambiana like, you don't have to go there, we should come and gather and go and pray. Yes, it's important to pray, but there's a part of your social life which oh god, there's a part of your social life which you should also live. So I went there, and it was nice, and that's just how it ended. So after that, I think we started getting interested in going for the parties. So the period in college is where you make so many decisions, and you just have to decide it for yourself. Like, when it comes to things like religion, when you go to college, if you know you're like that prayerful person, just continue being like that, but don't try and like make decisions for other people's life, trying to tell them that if you are living this kind of life, you are going to be this kind of person. Like, you don't have the right. Just let people make their own decisions. But also if you're trying to make your own decisions, like, partying is okay, doing all these other things is okay, but just don't forget your God. You know, when you put God first, even when you like go for those kind of things, whenever you want to make some kind of decision that is going to affect your life, He'll be there for you. He'll lead you and make you feel like you're making the wrong decision. So you can do all the things you want to do in college. You can enjoy, you can go for parties, you can do all kind, but when you put God first, like, He's going to lead you. And like, just make the decisions for yourself. Like, there's so many people who are there just to make decisions for you. I remember when I was in I think my third year, there was this first year student who came to our school, and there were some other senior students who are like trying to rule her life. Like, they're coming to her room, you cannot put on this kind of clothes, you cannot, I don't know, talk to boys. And I'm like, you're over 18 years, you have an ID, you can make your own decisions. Like, no one should come and tell you like, if you put on this kind of clothes, if you talk to boys, I don't know, to call your mother, I'm going to call your brothers, and I'm going to tell them that you are doing these kind of things. And anyways, when you're in college, just go and try and concentrate on your academics. Like, that is the number one thing that took you there. Like, you can do all the other things, but let all the other things come after your academics. Like, just make sure you are done with your assignments, you are like studying. Then after that, that's when you can bring like other things, like going and mingling with friends and doing all kinds of other things. And when it comes to like the relationships, just make sure you mind the people you relate with, because they're like people who are there, I don't know, specifically to destroy other people's life. Like, just try and make sure you are keen with the people you mingle with. Like, I've seen people going to an extent of even like staying together and like just destroying her own academics. And people even like, they drop out of school so that their boyfriends can go to school and study. And I'm like, oh man, what are you doing? So like, when you go there, academics number one, all the other things come after. And just make sure you just put all your faith in God and trust in God, and everything will be okay. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a like and comment on your own experience or on something that you'd like to tell someone who is watching this video today. And make sure you share the video and you subscribe. Bye bye.